What's going on, everyone? So, Stu Macher's house, right? What happened to it after Amber ended up, going up in flames, and after the events of Scream 5? Obviously, Stu Macher, there's a lot of kind of questions on what's going to happen with him, right? We know Matthew Lillard is going to be in this film as Stu Macher. We just don't know in what capacity. We don't know if he's going to be, kind of front and center, alive, maybe a cult leader or something like that, or just returned, or is he just going to be a flashback? Going to be like an AI voice call? Like, what is going to happen and how is it going to happen, right? We'll kind of see how that progresses. And look, Stu's house has been a staple in many ways and very iconic in the Scream universe. Not only in just the Scream universe, but I mean, even in real life. I mean, they have Airbnbs at times and you can go and visit and take pictures, right? Like, so Stu Macher's house is really a fixture in so many ways. Well, we got information, right? Now, just want to, it's not like a spoilers, it's not nothing like crazy, but I always want to give people a fair shake when I'm talking about stuff that pertains to the upcoming film. I know some people don't want anything to do with it, don't want to hear about it, nothing. But 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you're still here, I assume that you're willing to listen. Like I said, it's nothing crazy. If you're on the fence, it's not kind of like, oh, the killers are. It's nothing, it's nothing like that. But got information on Stu Macher's house appearing in the trailer, right? So it's not going to be a spoiler for very long. And that also the opening scene victims will be there. And there's animatronics and all this stuff, which I think is very interesting, right? So based on obviously we will see more once we actually get the trailer, but based on the limited information that is put out there, which always take the stuff with a grain of salt, but I've heard from several, people that would know that this is actually going to happen, that this is going to be the case. If that is, and there is, Ghostface animatronics and stuff, one, that's kind of a unique way for Ghostface to kind of hide in, kind of very reminiscent of Scream 3, when Ghostface is hiding in the coat rack, right? Ghostface is going to be able to hide amongst all of the animatronic Ghostfaces out there. But it sounds like they've turned Stu Macher's house into this, this like museum or this event where you can go and hang out and, probably pay and maybe it's like a tour and, because got to remember the Woodsboro killings and all that stuff in Sydney and Ghostface and all that. Like, it is a big deal in the Scream universe. Obviously, it's a pretty big deal in our universe as well. But, Stab and all those movies. And, you even saw with Scream 6, all of the Ghostface and people dressed up for Halloween and stuff. So I imagine that this is going to be kind of a fun little thing. I'm curious, how much is it going to tie into this upcoming Scream 7? Like, obviously, look, you have 2 killers in 2 instances in which we got Stu Macher's house, obviously, with Stu Macher, and then Amber owned the house, or family owned the house, and 2 times you had killers and events there that happened, which I can understand why Woodsboro might be like, hey, we should probably not let anybody buy this house ever again, right? Let's keep it within the town, make it kind of museum, kind of embrace the carnage, embrace the crazy. Sure. Okay. Right. But is this something that's just going to kind of be kind of thrown in and that's that? Because we know that the film doesn't take place in Woodsboro, right? Is it a set? Is it not a real Stu Macher house? Is it like, in a museum somewhere in like Los Angeles or something? And it's just like a replica of Stu's house, or is it actually Stu's house? Right? The reports say it's Stu's house, but again, is that Stu's house like that is actually there in Woodsboro? So how long are we going to be in Woodsboro for? Because we know Sydney's not in Woodsboro. Does Sydney return to Woodsboro again at some point? Right? Is Ghostface going to just like fly her daughter or something on a plane and and end up having her trapped in Stu Macher's house? Like, and personally, it's just me. Whether Stu comes back or not, which I'm sure many of you know and are familiar, that I'm not really big on Stu Macher returning to the franchise, but I don't mind if he's in like a flashback or a cameo or something like that, but him actually full flesh and blood returning, I just think we're so far removed from it. But it's not what this is about, right? But like, I don't want to keep drawing up the past, right? I don't want to keep going backwards, right? We did it for Scream 5. Like, I don't want the end of Scream to be in Stu Macher's house again. Like, I don't need any of that stuff. if it's just like a fun, like opening scene kill and gives you like a cool explanation, because we always want to know like what happened in a post Amber era, like what happened to Stu's house, right? Like we always wanted to know what happened to Stu's house after Stu, right? So I'm okay if they have like a fun kind of interactive thing, and it's like, oh, hey, here's Stu Macher's house. Oh, people die, and that kind of sets the tone, and then that gets the word out, and then that puts Sydney on alert. But we don't go back to Stu Macher's house. We don't go back to Woodsboro or anything like that. Again, give us these creative sets. Stop. We don't need to keep going backwards. Right? Like, even if you bring Stu back, like, why would he go back to his house? Right? Like, it's just, he's so far removed. It doesn't make sense in that regard. So to me, keep it simple. Right? Have Ghostface be in this film. Have, if you want to do fun, creative sets and, you still have Stu Macher's house as a set, and you're like, hey, we have this in the back lot, let's just use it, then sure, right? Have an opening scene, have a fun little thing with the animatronics, and, Ghostface ends up popping up and ends up taking people out and stuff. Like, that could be something that's fun. That could be something that's cool. I'm engaged with that. I'm on board with that. But if it's something where, like, that happens, and then we're towards the end of the film, Sydney's on a plane back to Woodsboro to go take on Ghostface because it took her daughter and her husband or something. It's just, I don't need all that, right? Keep it grounded, keep it within space. Like, that's one of the things that I loved about Scream as we continue to progress. We got, think of all the different sets and versions, right? We got, obviously Woodsboro, then we got, Ohio and Windsor College, then you get Hollywood, then you get, Los Angeles, California, right? And then you get New York, right? So you have New York. You've done Woodsboro 3 different times, right? And 6 films, half the films have been in Woodsboro, right? I don't want to start in Woodsboro. If this is supposed to be the beginning of like a new trilogy or something, right? If like at the end of it, you go full circle into Woodsboro, then fine, like so be it. Just because it's like, hey, that's where it started. This is where it's ending. And that's how we're going to end Sydney's arc. Cool, right? Obviously execution and delivery is everything, but if it's something where we're just going to keep randomly popping up in Woodsboro, that I'm kind of like, okay, can we stop that, right? Like, we don't need to every other movie be back in Woodsboro for round now 5 and 6 and 7. And it's like, so that's just me. Look, at the end of the day, I just want a cool kill. I like that we're getting information on Stu and Stu's house and all those things. It's really cool. But, again, keep it grounded, keep it within reason, keep it fun, keep it fresh. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you love this idea? Do you hate this idea? Are you glad that, that they're going back to Stu's house in some capacity? Are you somebody that's okay with them kind of continuing to go back to Woodsboro? Or are you kind of like me, where it's like, okay, like, enough's enough. Like, let's just, if you want to do something fun, as like a nod or whatever, fine, but we don't need to keep drawing it up. Right, and look, this might be a way to kind of set the ground roots for Stu and stuff. We'll see. We'll kind of see how it plays out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. So let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.